everybody. Welcome to Tool Talk. This is Heather.
And I'm Amber.
And we're here to talk to you today about the medical community. So the title of this is Don't Rely on the Medical Community to Take Care of You! Exclamation point.
Yes, and we have many clients at the studio who are in the medical community, and actually we got the idea for this podcast from one of them. We won't
She'll remain anonymous.
Call her name out, but no, it's a great thing for us to talk about. And you know, when you look at what doctors and nurses are trained to do, and that is they're trained to diagnose and to treat whatever issue it is that you have. And I feel like so many people are confused about what they should be doing to stay out of the doctor's office, but also then how to work in conjunction with them to make sure that you have the best health and life that you can.
Yes, and I think a lot of times people get confused that they've gone to their doctor, they've been diagnosed with something, they've been prescribed certain medication, and then that's when it stops. Well, I'm taking this medication for whatever it is. I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's great, but what about the rest of you? What if you could make your whole self better and lessen the medication or help the medication to work better?
Yeah, for sure. I had that with somebody who had high blood pressure, and I was like, okay, you know where this is leading. This is somebody who had background knowledge in this. And I'm like, you've got to do something to get that down. And they were like, oh, I'm on medication for it. I'm not worried about it. And I was like, no, that is not the answer that I wanted to hear. Definitely take your medication. I am not in any manner saying don't take your medication. That's the other thing too, is I think sometimes people get really wound up about, I don't want to take this medicine. I don't want to take this medicine. But we have to look at what is going to be the best for you long term and what's going to help you lengthen your life, you know. And if it ends up being that you have to take medicine to do that, well, okay, then you have to do that. But it doesn't mean that that's the only thing you rely on, like what Heather was saying. This is really where we need to talk about preventative measures and what you do to increase your health so that you hopefully don't have the issues with having to go to the doctor all the time. So what are those things? Oh boy, we have a lot of things to tell you about here.
Oh, we do. Where to begin?
So first off, we know that movement is a huge preventative measure to just all of the diseases that are out there. And if you don't believe us, go look at all of the research. The research backs this up. There are numerous studies. I mean, there's too many to name that will go through. And some people have studied specifically how movement helps diabetes, or specifically how movement helps, osteoporosis. So there are some people who take and just do certain parts of health. But we know beyond a shadow of a doubt that moving more is wonderful for our bodies. That's a great thing. We know that strength training is a preventative measure to help guard against joint pain, becoming weak, falls, or your risk of falls, also osteoporosis. We know that eating healthfully can help to steer us away from cardiovascular disease, obesity, diabetes, all of these different diseases that can really affect our lives. So this is where you as an individual have to take responsibility for your actions, and then your self-care
is your best treatment.
Yes, and that's where we want to start. That doesn't mean that you're never going to have to go to the hospital or never going to have an issue crop up. For goodness sakes, I've had 3 different surgeries, and so I've had to go. I've been on medication for different things, and I just do the best that I can with the choices that I make as far as my self-care is. And then we do have a story of one of our clients
do.
that we heard from recently, and she's got some pretty serious issues going on in her spine. So she also has arthritis pretty badly, and it was causing her great pain. So she had an MRI done, and her doctor said to her, I really don't know how you're upright with what I'm seeing on your MRI. So she sent her to a specialist. She goes to the specialist. The specialist pretty much says the same thing to her. And the only option that she has really for this is surgery. And she doesn't really want to do that right now. Now, if it comes in the future, it's one of those things that she's like, we can talk about it. But the doctor talked to her and said, whatever you're doing, keep doing it, because I don't know how you aren't in excruciating pain every day. So she gave us a call, and she has been our client for a long time, off and on. And she said, I know that it is because of what I have been doing all of these years. She was like, even though I'm not as consistent as I should be, I have been weight training. I have been coming in and out with you guys. And that's what her doctor said, because she had been so active prior that it's allowed her to function when most people would not have been able to. That's a great testament right there for even some non-consistent work, so on and off, that she's been doing that and keeping herself active.
I think going back to the movement and the strength training and the building the muscles and working on your mobility is 100% the best way that you're going to maintain your health, regardless of what you've been diagnosed with. I have a client, and he came to me not being able to get up off the floor by himself was his main reason. His wife told him to come in and see us, and I've been seeing him for I guess a little over a year now, and he has a lot of issues, and he is in pain, I should say discomfort a lot, and we talk through that a lot of times. He comes in and he does what he needs to do. He's very consistent. He knows this helps him because he can see a difference in what he can do now versus what he couldn't do before. And I remind him a lot of the time that, discomfort isn't necessarily an indicator of being injured. A lot of times we're uncomfortable because our body is changing constantly. We're growing older. Hormone levels inside us change. There's a lot of fluctuations that happen in the body that directly affect how our body reacts. Whether you've been diagnosed with something, whether you have gotten something genetically, a lot of these things like the high blood pressure and the diabetic heart issues, that sort of stuff is totally out of your control. The cholesterol levels, a lot of that is genetic and you can't control that. But that doesn't mean that you need to just stop doing what it is that you need to be doing. Staying motivated to move and to be stronger and do everything that you physically can to keep going.
Yeah. And I also did a TikTok about going to your doctor and the doctor telling you that you need to lose weight. And people get really upset about that. And I always tell my clients, and this is something that I said on the TikTok, is that your doctor knows from all of the research, we know this, that when you have excess body fat, it does contribute to health issues and diseases in our body. So they are trained to help you to get to a state where you're healthier, and they know that that's one of the ways you could do it. So I always encourage my clients, don't be upset with your doctor because they told you you need to lose weight. They're just trying to get you to a place where you don't have as many health issues. And it's not their job to help you lose weight. That's not what your doctor is there for. They're there to give you guidance on, like we said, to treat and diagnose, right? Or diagnose and treat. So they're there to give you guidance on helping you to live a healthier lifestyle. But this is where you go and you get the help from a personal trainer. You get the help from a registered dietitian or a nutrition coach, somebody who can help you really start to implement those healthy habits that can help you to lose that excess body fat that's going to help you get into a healthier place. Because the truth of the matter is, your doctor wants you to be better. I know there's a lot of people that want to live in these conspiracy theories like, oh, they want us to be sick and on medicine and whatever, but honestly, we need to look at our own accountability and say, what am I doing for my health? It's nobody else's responsibility but yours to make sure that that happens. And once you come to that place in life and you decide to really work on that, then you can look at your medical community as an ally, so that when something does go awry that maybe you don't have control over, they're there to help you get back to where you can start focusing on being better. That's my physical therapist. That's what I use him for. When I have some long-term aggravating issue, I go to him and he helps me in that short term, and then it gets me back going on my healthy lifestyle. So just some thoughts around that, and to not always, demonize the medical community, because they are doing what they're trained to do and they are there to help us.
And they're doing great things for a lot of people.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm very thankful for my nurse practitioner that I see. She's definitely helped me through this super fun time of life called menopause.
Oh, that's going to be a whole nother episode.
Yeah, that's coming up. If you are a female interested in perimenopause and menopause, we've got a great one coming up for you very soon. So be on the lookout for that one.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us today. Hopefully we've helped open your eyes a little bit in your mind to the medical community and how you need to be your own advocate for your own self-care.
Yes. And go out there, do good things, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.